Well, Josh, I'm sorry the pain that you had to endure in the 1 o'clock window on Sunday afternoon
What
watching the
pain?
Colts.
I don't know what you're talking about.
um, you know how sad it is to be a Browns fan. I know you
It,
know, but
it's
but I'm
okay.
I,
I'm just
I'm
gonna cut you off right here. I'm just
go
gonna
ahead,
cut you off.
go
I
ahead.
have been trying for so long to defend Kevin Stefanski. You know how hard I've been defending him. But like Myles Garrett goes out and has a 5 sack performance against Drake May, who, by the way, I have number one in terms of my MVP candidates right now. Hot take, I don't even have Patrick Mahomes in my top 5 in terms of MVP votes right now. If you want, we can dive more into that.
We're
But,
gonna be a next Tuesday discussion.
okay. But yeah, Myles Garrett goes out and has 5 sacks against Drake May, and you only muster 13 points.
Really,
Or
6. I mean, come on, or 7. The touchdown at the end of the game was garbage time.
oh, I know. Um, I have a feeling that by the time we get to week 14 when the Browns host the Titans, Shador is going to be playing. It feels inevitable at this point.
I mean, he should be starting right after the bye week, but according to the head coach, it's going to be Dylan Gabriel.
Yeah. I've been trying so hard to defend Stefanski, because of he's a 2-time coach of the year, got the Browns, into the playoffs twice. But each week, it feels like that argument is just eroding away. And I'm not quite at the level of we need to fire him, but my confidence level in him is quickly eroding. But here's my bigger thing. We gave Myles Garrett a huge extension over the offseason. Big mistake. We should have traded him. And even though he has a massive contract now, I get it. And he's the cornerstone of our franchise. I don't care. I am going to say it. We need to trade Myles Garrett. He is becoming the defensive version of what Joe Thomas was for the Browns. Here's what I mean. I get it. Joe Thomas went on to be one of the greatest offensive linemen in NFL history. Top 5. He played 10,000 consecutive snaps. He has a bust in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. I understand all that. I acknowledge all that. But do you even realize that he only had one winning season, and that was his rookie year? I think we discussed this a couple weeks ago, Brandon.
The Browns went 10-7 and missed the playoffs because the Indianapolis Colts rested all their starters on a Sunday night against the Tennessee Titans.
Yes, that was back in 2007 when we played the San Francisco 49ers.
Yes. Derek Anderson had a career day. It was a blowout for the Browns, and you were waiting on Sunday night. And the Colts had already the number 1 seed locked up. There was speculation that maybe they might play because they don't want their guys rusty for 2 straight weeks. And they basically tanked a game if you can tank a game in the NFL.
I think that was the 2007 season.
It was the 2007 season, and Vince Young was the starter for the Tennessee Titans.
Okay. So that was the season where the Giants went on to win the Super Bowl, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, you are correct.
Okay. Think about how many different head coaches Joe Thomas went through. Good God. Romeo Crennel, Eric Mangini, Rob Trzcinski, Mike Pettin, Hugh Jackson. I'm trying to think.
Pat Shermer, Freddie Kitchens, Greg Williams.
Yes. Think about how many different starting quarterbacks he had. Colt McCoy, Derek Anderson, Charlie Fry. Brandon Whedon. God, I'm gonna throw up.
Brady Quinn.
Yeah, God, I'm gonna throw up saying this name, but Johnny Football. Myles Garrett is going through the same damn thing. I know we've made the playoffs twice, but guess what? He's had to go through a number of different head coaches. Maybe not quite as extensive as Joe Thomas, but still.
Can I say one thing though? The difference between both those guys? Myles Garrett made his decision. I don't feel bad for Myles Garrett at all. Myles Garrett could have stayed pat and said, no, I don't care how much money you want to throw at me, Andrew Berry. I demand a trade from the Cleveland Browns, and I will sit out the entire season until you trade me. Instead, Andrew Berry said, hey, Myles, how does $40 million a year, aka, I don't know, about $2 to $3 million per game sound to you? Okay, that sounds great because we have this great plan at quarterback. Oh, yeah? What's that plan? Well, we're going to draft a third-round quarterback who can't see over his offensive line, who's about 5 feet tall and can't complete a pass out of the end zone. And then we're going to draft a guy in the 5th round who should have went in the 1st round, but our coach can't stand him, so we're going to blackball him. Doesn't that sound like a great plan, Myles? And Myles said, where's my check? Where do I sign up? So I tried warning you this was going to happen before the season. They have talked, them being Andrew Berry and Kevin Stefanski, more about a certain predator starting a football game this season.
Oh, God.
More than they have about Shedeur Sanders. And I'm not telling a lie. So that, to me, this organization is a complete joke. They need to start anew. Andrew Berry needs to go. Kevin Stefanski needs to go. If you can force Jimmy Haslam to sell the team, you force Jimmy Haslam to sell the team. This organization needs a Washington Commanders-esque complete clean out to scrub the dirt that's been on these two guys ever since really the end of the 2023 season, because they somehow took that momentum that Joe Flacco gave them where they made the playoffs to deciding that Deshaun Watson's our guy, which for whatever reason, I don't know if it was a rebellion from the locker room, if it was a rebellion from somewhere, but that decision to start Watson in the 2024 season has loomed over this franchise ever since, and it's not going to get better until everybody that was involved in that decision is completely removed.
Remember when I said last week, oh, the Browns could possibly get up to 8 wins? No.
So Dylan Gabriel, just put it in perspective for you, is 3rd worst graded quarterback in the NFL this year, Pro Football Focus. Do you want to take a guess who the other two are?
God. Not Bryce. I'm going to say Bryce Young is not there. Tua.
No. This was going into Sunday, by the way, so it doesn't count how the Dolphins somehow beat the Falcons 34-3.
Okay. So Tua is not on there?
The other two quarterbacks, one of them is the number 1 overall pick in the draft, Cam Ward, who absolutely has no help whatsoever in Tennessee, and they need a complete reset of everything God knows hell in football. You want to know who the other one is?
Wait, Justin Fields.
No.
Even after his owner threw him under the bus?
He's statistically better than Dylan Gabriel.
Okay, that's oh God. I've been trying to defend Dylan Gabriel too, because I loved what I saw out of him last season at the University of Oregon. Especially,
I did not. I told you. I thought he was a college quarterback, and that's about it. I knew he wasn't going to be a real NFL quarterback. Okay, the other one is Jake Browning.
Oh, good God.
So that's who Dylan Gabriel is ranked above. He's ranked above Jake Browning, and he's ranked above Cam Ward. That's it.
Oh, Lord. Oh, God.
So, by the way, your number one receiver, Jerry Jeudy, 2 targets, 0 catches, 0 yards. Looks like he quit on the team to me. He looks like an absolute shell of himself of what he was last year. And he dealt with Watson and Snoop Huntley and who was the other guy? Dorian Thompson Robinson. He actually caught balls from DTR last year, and Dylan Gabriel can't seem to see him.
Good God. That Week 10 game in New Jersey between the Cleveland Browns and the New Jersey Jets is going to be absolutely atrocious to watch.
Well, I mean, the Jets did somehow put up 37 points against the Bengals. I have no idea what the hell happened in that game.
By the way, before we get to that, rest in peace, Nick Mangold. Huge.
Absolutely.
That's a tremendous loss for the Jets organization. He was one of the best offensive linemen I've seen, especially at center. I think, wasn't he part of those 2 Jets teams that went?
He was the starter in both the 2009 and 2010 AFC Championship games.
That's what I thought. He unfortunately passed away on Sunday. So for the Jets to win that game against the Bengals, more power to them, honestly.
It did feel like destiny.